the real question is, how long can you survive without making any money? Do you have the basic things you need? And then if you lose your job, you can continue to survive, and not just survive, but live a good life. And you got to come up with that number, whatever that number is. It can be maybe 100,000 a year income. It can be 500,000. It can be 2 million. It can be 5 million. It depends on you. It can be 50,000. It can be 20,000. So, but you want to reach a point which we covered already. Pay off your debts in the next 24 months. Pay off your mortgage, preferably within the next 3 to 5 years. Don't have any mortgage. Reach a point in 5 years that you don't have, a lot of different payments that are not really needed. And then you need to calculate your cost of living. What do you want to do with your life? What your life is going to look like? And then what's that going to cost? And then you need to come up with some plan to create this money somehow. Now, hopefully, that's going to be done with what we call labor of love, doing something you love, and that's going to make you enough money to do what is needed. You can also accumulate different investments, which can include real estate investments, for example, income-producing properties. In addition to that, we can talk about owning businesses, developing businesses, creating businesses, buying businesses, buying stocks. And then all of these investments will, in return, bring you some sort of income that should cover your cost of living plus. Okay, that's really what financial freedom looks like. Now, you can understand based on what I just said that if you paid off your mortgage and you own your car free and clear, it's your car, you don't need to pay any payments on it, and you don't have any credit card debt. You have credit cards, you just don't have a debt, meaning at the end of the month, you're paying them fully, right? You don't leave any interest to accumulate. And you shouldn't own any money to anyone because then they're making money on you. So first thing you want to do is financially free yourself from payments, whatever payments you have right now. Now, if you don't own a property and you're paying rent, that's an expense. That's part of your cost of living expense. But you do want to put a goal to buy something you own. It doesn't have to be a big house somewhere. It can also be a small condo, as long as, it gives you the quality of life you wish to have. You got to make your own goals list. What do you want your life to look like? It can be also that you want to have a house where you live right now, paid and, free and clear, and then you want to have a condo somewhere, a vacation condo, in a spot where you want to visit a couple of times a year. And you need to pay that also cash, because otherwise you have a mortgage, and then the mortgage will put more pressure on you. So financial freedom means you own everything you want free and clear, and you have enough investments or businesses that are making you money without you needing to actually get up in the morning and go to work. I can own a business with employees where the business doesn't require me. I can still go and work there. I can still invest my time in building it and growing it, etc. But I don't have to be there. It's not really necessary. I can replace myself by hiring someone else. For example, if I own a business that makes $5 million a year in revenue, and after I paid all the expenses, including all the salaries and everything, I have $500,000 left. And then I don't feel like showing up anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't want to even know that this business exists anymore. And I want to completely disconnect myself from that business. All I got to do next is find someone else, pay them a nice salary, maybe $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, good salary, to have someone else who could, have enough credentials and experience and skill and talent to exchange with what I bring to the table. And then they will replace me. And then I can walk away with $300,000 a year income without doing anything. So that's a form of financial freedom. If you're a realtor an investor, a real estate investor, or if you're an entrepreneur who owns a business, when I say you own a business, I mean you own it. You don't work in it. There's no need for you to get up in the morning and go there. It's running by itself and growing by itself without you being there. I'm not saying, some people tell me, well, I own a business And I don't have to be there because it's running by itself. I have somebody taking care of it. And okay, but my question will be, can you not show up in this business for 10 years and have that business continue to grow and make you money? And the majority of people say no. So that means that they don't own the business. It means that they're still owned by the business, meaning they need to be there in order for the business to work. Now, to understand something, you can buy stocks and then you own shares in a company. You can buy partnership and own shares in a company if you are what we call a silent investor. You can also buy passive investments like real estate, and then you get a management company to manage the property. I'm not talking about people who buy three family, they buy like 3 families, or I own like 2 families, I own a couple of singles, and I own a 4 family. Great, who's managing all that stuff? I manage, I self-manage. Okay, so you have a job. You're a property manager, and that's the job you have. It's just like buying a business and working in it. So I'm talking about buying properties, handing them over to a management company, tell the management company, you guys need to take care of it. And I don't even want to get a phone call. Everything that needs to be done is going to be done by you. Now you are the investor. That's what I'm talking about. So you want to invest money to buy stocks, to buy real estate, to buy businesses that you own, that you don't work in. And that's going to make you enough money. Now, if you're a realtor or an investor who buys and flip properties, you work for money, you exchange time for money. Financial freedom, working as a realtor or working as an investor, active investor, it's still a job. Meaning if you quit, there's no more stream of income. You're not making any more money. If you're an agent who takes 50 listings a year and then something happens to you and for 2, 3 years you cannot work, for 2, 3 years you're also not going to have any income. If one of your main goals is to become financially free, then you need to do whatever it takes, which brings us back to riches number 10, self-discipline. Because if you want to get to the level that I'm talking about right now, without self-discipline, unless you won the lottery or you married someone wealthy, I'm talking wealth, not rich, but like a lot of numbers, or you inherited something, unless you did one of those, if you don't have self-discipline, if you're not self-disciplined enough to do a lot more than you're doing right now, a lot more, then financial freedom is maybe something you're never going to reach. Let's be honest. So ask yourself, how many years have I been working already? Okay. By the way, this is very important to mention right now. Financial freedom can also be like, it can be two things for two people. One person who really needs like to have nice things and big properties and sexy cars and sexy vacations and tropical this and tropical that. Okay, that person, financial freedom means something completely different than someone else who's very different. You can say, I don't know about humble maybe, but maybe that's not the right word, because how many zeros you make in your income after the one I'm talking, how many you make at 100,000 or a million or 10 million or 100 million a year, it all comes back to the same scenario. Financial freedom is when you are satisfied with your lifestyle, you're good, you're happy, you're content with the lifestyle. It can also be that I own a 2-bedroom condo, okay, somewhere that I love living, and I don't need to own the $5 million house. I can own the 500,000 in 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo somewhere, and I'm happy. Okay. And it could also be that I'm happy driving a Toyota versus, Maserati, as an example. And it can also be that I'm okay with, flying business and not first class. So I'm okay with flying, commercial instead of private. So all these different calculations and things. But someone else can say, Ron, I'm okay with, buying a 1-bedroom condo and living very humbly in a city where I live. So you see what I'm saying? Everybody has a different level of comfort. You need to know yours, not someone else's that you wish maybe one day. No, yours. Where are you feeling comfortable? Where do you feel comfortable? It can be that the house you own right now with a mortgage is where you feel comfortable. Great, let's get you to pay off your mortgage. because you're never going to be in financial freedom unless you have these payments, right? So the real goal for you is to create income. Financial freedom is about income. It's about money coming in. It's not about money going out. It's about money coming in. Financial freedom is about money coming in without you working for it. So in order to get there, I'm going to go back to the point I was trying to make. Unless you won the lottery, married someone wealthy, or inherited something, you need to work hard to make enough money to buy enough stocks, businesses, properties, investments to make you more than your cost of living plus whatever extra you want on top of it. So if your cost of living is 100,000 and the extra on top is 50, now you're looking at, oh, I can live very comfortably if I make 150. Great. Now you need to find a way to invest, make investments, buy businesses, create businesses. You don't have to buy a business. You can also create a business from scratch and build it to a point that you're moving away from it. Meaning you built it, it's making you a nice revenue, the expenses are paid out, no problem. You hired other people to run the business and you hired someone to replace you. Now you own the business. And now if it makes you 150,000 a year, you're all set because you're making this money. So as a realtor, what you could do is you could build it to a level where you can step away from the business. And you can do that as a realtor. And I'll tell you how it's done. First of all, get the book, Bang Up Real Estate Agent, where I shared with you how to go from 0 to multiple 6 figures to 7 figures. So you can use the book, follow it, and go all the way from 0 to way over 500,000 a year income. While you're doing this by yourself, the first step will be you're going to hire an assistant. And then you keep growing you don't hire an assistant to retire. It's not the way to do it. You hire an assistant to help you clear time so that you can generate more leads and convert more leads. It's all about lead generation and lead conversion. That's the game you're in. Being a realtor, it's not about selling homes. It's about generating leads and converting leads. It's about generating leads and turning them into signed contracts. A buyer exclusive contract or a seller's listing exclusive contract. That's what you do. You generate a bunch of leads by calling people, door knocking, whichever way you're using for the lead generation. Then you need to convert those into contracts, and then you need to service the contract, and then you will get paid. Now, when you hire an assistant, you will have the ability to generate more leads because you create more time on your schedule, and that's what it's all about. Hiring an assistant is about creating time for yourself to be able to do more prospecting, not less. You don't hire someone to prospect on your behalf because you will never be able to be successful with that. For 2 reasons. Number one, you need a licensed agent to do the prospecting on your behalf because they got to be licensed because many of the things you're going to say over the phone cannot be said by anyone unless they're licensed. So this is number one. Number two, if they're licensed and they're very successful on the phone, creating for you appointments, why should they do it for you instead of doing it for themselves? So it's just a question of time before they'll be like, dude, why am I doing all this for $20 an hour when I can do this and cash in the $10,000 checks? So it's just a question of time before they leave you. You understand? You cannot hire someone else to prospect on your behalf. Can you buy leads? Yes. Can you get some people to make some calls and book some stuff? Yeah, you can use some VA and some stuff like that, but you will never be able to replace yourself as the one making the phone calls unless you're paying someone a hefty amount every year so they don't look, over the fence to see how the grass is greener when they do it by themselves. You understand? So you hire an assistant is step number one as a realtor. If you're a buy flip, you need to do the same stuff. You need to hire an assistant so that you can prospect more. It's all about door knocking, cold calling for sale by owner, expired listing, for rent by owner, investors, you name it. You need to find leads. You got to go after them. You got to contact them. You got to shake their hands. You need to look in their face. You need to be there. You need to service them. You need to do whatever it takes to get the exclusive agreement. Once you have the exclusive agreement, you can turn that into money. Now, after you hire your first assistant, and they're good, and you hire someone based on the DISC profile, which means they need to be a SC profile. If you hired someone that is not SC profile, you hired the wrong person. And then you need to train these people. So you hired the great SC profile. Now you're training them. Now they're doing the job correctly. And they're also loyal because SC profile is loyal. And they're going to stay with you for 5, 10, 15, 20 years if needed. Okay? Now, how do you keep them long term? You pay. You pay them good. So if they started at 40,000 a year, they go to 60,000. Maybe you give them a bonus. Now it's 80,000. Yeah, that's how it needs to be. Maybe it's 100,000. So you hired your first assistant and you went from making 250,000 a year to 350, 400. Now you need to start hiring another person. The next person you're hiring is going to deal with the transaction coordination. They're going to do all the paperwork that has to do with closing your transactions. They will chase, whatever needs to be chased in order to get the deal done. They will go open doors and do inspections. They will go do the appraisal. They'll chase all the paperwork, making sure that the mortgage company the timing is correct, everything is synchronized. They will chase the deal to the closing table. You are not going to do that. So you hire someone as the second person you're hiring. Third person you're hiring is a showing agent, someone you can send out to do all your showings on your behalf because you're getting a bunch of listings. You got to run open houses. They'll do it for you. You got a bunch of buyer appointments. They will do the showings at the beginning. You will do the meetings. You will have the buyer sign exclusive. Then the showing agent will go show properties. And that showing agent could also work, by the way, on a salary. Okay? Showing agents on a salary. That's the third salary you're paying in your business. At that level, you should already be making well over $500,000 a year. You're actually climbing towards the 750 to $1 million. Now you get yourself, maybe, if it's time, you're going to get yourself a buyer agent, someone who could replace you to meet buyers and to sign buyer exclusive agreements and then use and utilize the showing agent to do showings as well as showings themselves. So the buyer agent will conduct some of the showings and they will also utilize your showing agent to do that for you. Now you got yourself a team that makes you well over $1 million a year in GCI. You're still prospecting at this level more than you did at the beginning because you have more time to prospect. You're generating a lot more leads. You're having a lot more listing appointments. You're negotiating a lot more deals. Everything goes through your table. Nobody's negotiating anything on your behalf. You do all the negotiations for everyone else. Now, what I just explained can take you easily 5 years to get to this level. You're making $1 million plus, okay? You have a buyer agent. You have a showing agent. You have yourself a transaction coordinator who works for you full-time, and you have a full-time administrative assistant who does marketing and it does everything else needs to be done. They take all your phone calls while you're prospecting. They find leads for you. They do a lot of things for you. It's a full-time employment. So you got 2 full-time employees, 3 full-time employees, because the showing agent at that level will become a full-time employee. Now, the next step depends on your market, how many listings you're getting, etc. But the next thing you need to replace is you as the listing agent. Not completely, you're not out yet. You need to replace yourself and bring someone that you're going to pay them a nice 6-figure income, probably 150,000 a year, more or less, in today's market. Okay? Plus bonuses. That person will do all the prospecting to book listing appointments. This person will do all the listing appointments. This person will do anything that has to do with getting the listings and negotiating the deals. This person is replacing you. You become then the team leader, and all you do is lead. And being a leader is also a full-time job. Then you lead the team. You put new goals ahead. Maybe you need to do more hires, firing, rehiring. That's the team leader's job, okay? At that level, you're still not out. It's still not residual passive income. You still don't own a business. You might have an ego thinking that you own a business and call yourself a big shot, and every time you go to the mirror, you see this big, you put a crown on your head because you're the king or the queen. But you're not. Why you're not? Because you're still in the business, and if something happens to you, the business will disappear. So you got to keep this group or team together intact. And as long as you need to be the one keeping it intact, you still did not replace yourself. And at that level, you will bring in someone else who's normally it's going to be the lead buyer agent, or it's going to be the listing agent that you hired that will take the leadership position. Or you can also hire an outside leader to come in. You need to definitely calculate a 6-figure salary for that job. So, you're already looking at 6-7 people running in your team. At that level, when you do replace yourself, you need to bring in someone who is a DI profile or an ID profile or a DC or a DIC, one of those. Now, obviously, every time you hire someone, you need to spend time training, which slows you down. Every time that you hire someone, you need to slow down, and therefore, it's a long process. Whatever I just told you, if you think that this is going to happen in 2 years, you are dreaming. It's not going to happen. It could happen if you work your butts off, non-stop, self-discipline, 10, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, non-stop, for 5 years with a coach who can guide you through this process and help you hire the right people and help you maneuver, all the different stages. Without a coach, you're not going to make it. That's my opinion. And I think it would be the opinion of anyone who has reached these levels, who will tell you they reached it because they hired a coach. Now, at that stage, you could do one of two things. One, you can sell the team for a lot of money because this team is making you residual income right now. So at that point, or you step away, which would be my choice today, step away from this team and continue receiving the benefits of the hard work that you put in to build it. It can also take 10 years to build, by the way. 5 to 10 years is really the time frame, depending on how fast you are. Do you do your homework? Are you self-disciplined? Are you coachable? Are you following the plan? Are you moving forward, or are you leaning backwards? Are you moving forwards, or are you leaning backwards? And this can be done in any business, by the way. So you can do this as an investor, as a realtor, as an entrepreneur. You can do it as a mortgage broker. You can do this there's so many different businesses that can fall into this category. And any other business, by the way, should be built this way to eventually bring you to a point where you can replace yourself with someone else who is better than you. I need to repeat that. When you replace yourself, it has to be done with a person who is better than you. At what? At doing what it is that you're doing. When I hire someone to be a buyer agent, they need to be a better buyer agent than I am. When I hire a listing agent, they need to be a better listing agent than I am. And how they get to be that, I need to train them. But if I choose the right disc profile, if I choose the right personality, if I choose the right person, then I can make it happen. If I don't choose the right personality style, it's not going to happen, period. If I don't choose the right person at the right timing, it's not going to happen because I'll train them and then they'll leave me. So it has to be good. This profile need to be a match. Good person that you trust to stay with you long term. And these questions will rise when you interview people. You need to ask the right questions. When you're done all of those different steps and replace yourself, now you created yourself financial freedom. You're free. You don't need to work anymore. And by the way, that freedom can be passed on to your heirs, children, whoever it is, your inheritance. You're going to give someone else the gift that you wanted to have, for yourself. So now you could, make other people happy as well. Now, whatever income is coming in, by the way, if you're smart, then the next thing you want to do on this plan that I'm giving you, the income that you're making from this business needs to be way more than your cost of living. The best way to do that is to reduce your cost of living, get more humble, get satisfied. You don't have to have a 20-bedroom house, if it's yourself, a spouse, and maybe 2 children, 3 children, or whatever the scenario is. You don't have to buy a 20-bedroom house. You don't need to live in a mansion, right? So be humble, find the spot that you feel comfortable, and then you need to make more money than your cost of living. And then whatever more money you're making, all of that money need to be invested in stocks, in buying other businesses, in buying real estate investments. And on and on and on and on it goes. And whoever it is going to inherit, your heirs that are going to inherit this gift that you're giving them, you need to teach them how to live below the certain amount of money. And then whatever comes on top of it, they reinvest into businesses, stocks, and real estate. And this will give you the punchline why I don't like when a real estate investor tells me that, or when they call themselves an investor. You're not a real estate investor when you buy and you flip homes. That's your job. It's a full-time job. You're not going to sleep at night because you're going to have a lot of problems. Flipping is not an easy, business to be in. There's so many different issues and problems. Unbelievable how many problems you're going to run through when you're flipping properties. That's why the payout is hefty, because it comes with a baggage of problems. Okay? Now, as long as you are the one that needs to do all the work, and you're not sleeping at night because you're investing in real estate, then you're not investing in real estate. You invest in real estate when you don't care about, okay, if this deal didn't go through, or the money, I don't know, the property, something happened, you don't care, because it's not coming in from your cost of living. It doesn't come in from the bread on your table. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're a real estate investor when you're making enough money from a different business or a different job that makes you enough money to cover all of your expenses, and then whatever comes on top of that, you invest in real estate. So you could buy, if you don't have enough, then don't buy it. Keep it in the stock market, or buy another business with it that makes more money. And once you have enough money, then you go and you buy the commercial property, or then maybe you go and buy like a 50-unit building or a 100-unit building or something sexy like that, and then you give it to a management company, and you don't need to think about it. That's an investor. An investor in real estate is someone who bought something and he doesn't have any work related whatsoever, not even calling a management company. Even calling a management company or looking or seeking for a management company is still work. I'm talking about you have a management company taking care of all your stuff. They do the plumbing at 2 a.m. in the morning. They find solutions for all the problems, etc. You're just looking at the statement at the end of the year. Then you're a real estate investor. Otherwise, you're not an investor. You're a flipper. You buy and sell. Maybe you own some multifamily, 3-family, 4-family, small, and you self-manage. Then you are a property manager. You're not an investor. You're a property manager. You're managing your own properties, but you're still a property manager. So stop calling yourself an investor, because you're not. And the reason I'm telling you this is because if you keep calling yourself an investor when you're not, then you're never going to reach financial freedom. Because financial freedom has nothing to do with working. Financial freedom means you're not working and you can do whatever you want whenever you want it. That's financial freedom. And the distance between point A, which is where you are right now, and point B, becoming an investor, can be so big that you'll be like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? Don't worry about that. Hire a coach and let the coach walk you through the steps. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And by the way, the meetings we have here every week are not going to give you all the tools you need. This is just you coming here for some ideas, brainstorming, call it. Watching these videos, brainstorming. It's not really hands-on. I don't know you. I don't know your disc profile. I don't know what you need to do. So there's a lot of different things that go into coaching one-on-one that I believe everybody needs. And then again, I'm not selling you on myself. I'm selling you on coaching. You can go hire any coach that accomplished what you wish to accomplish or helped other people accomplish what you wish to accomplish. Hire them, but have a coach. Don't just go in the dark. Oh my God, where's the one? I don't know where I am. Because that's how 90% of everyone who is running businesses is doing it. So, to summarize, 12 riches. If you want to be rich, you got to own each one of those pieces that we spoke about. If you, for example, don't have freedom from fear, doesn't matter how much money I'm going to give you, you're not going to sleep at night. because you're going to be some in the fear of, oh my God, what if this is happening and this and that, anxiety. That's not, there's no freedom in it. I don't think that we can call it rich. The 12 riches is giving you 12 different segments of life that you need to reach in order to become rich. So if you're not healthy, work on your health. Do whatever it takes to become healthier. You can also be that you're not going to be 100%. I'm not going to be 100% with my health. It's okay. I can push myself to the 90. I'll push myself to the 90. Again, self-discipline. If you don't have it, you're not going to reach financial freedom. If you're not healthy, you're not going to reach financial freedom. If you don't have positive mindset, you're not going to reach financial freedom. If you're not going to share with others, you're not going to have financial freedom. Hiring an assistant is sharing with someone else. Sharing with others is part of being rich. You understand? So we need to look at all the 12 riches which I mentioned at the beginning of this call. And if you don't remember it, watch the video. I'll release the video very soon. Now, let's open microphone. Questions, concerns, ideas. Open microphone.
Yes, Ron, this is the buyers. I wanted to ask you a question about the personal assistant you spoke on. So, like when you say they're limited or something like that, they only can do so much. What are the ground rules on that? What they can and can't do? For instance, you say that be careful who you pick because they can leave. Similar to like you say, a girlfriend want to be a personal assistant. She's not guaranteed to stay with you forever because you're not married. What's the
Okay,
case
I
in that
understand the
situation?
question. Let me answer it. So first of all, Tiberius, you're not at that level.
Okay.
A realtor that needs to hire an assistant first need to achieve minimum 25 sales by themselves in 12
Mm-hmm.
months. In 12 months, you close 25 sales, then we need to have a conversation about a personal assistant. And the personal assistant will do a lot of stuff. We're talking about administrative assistant who's going to do a lot of different things. And at the beginning, they will also help you with your transaction coordination. And by the way, before you hire a TC, you can also hire a TC that someone who is doing freelancing TC like we have, that you can use. Someone who does that without a salary, you're just paying them per closing, like $200 per closing, $300 per closing, and they do all the work. But eventually, you're going to do a lot of closings, and this thing can accumulate to a salary. And at that level, you need to hire a TC working only for you full time, and that's what the job is going to be. Okay, but at this stage, Tavares, you're a new agent. You should
Gotcha.
just focus on generating leads, generating leads, generating leads, generating leads, and generating leads.
Okay, I guess that's basically what I'm saying because someone's gonna how can I put it? I guess you could say generate leads and in that area. I would call it a personal assistant, but I guess it's not. I guess it's just
No,
somebody
no.
who are trying to help.
Generating leads is only done by you till you
Mm-hmm.
replaced yourself with someone else who's going to do the listing portion of the business. You will need to be the one making phone calls and door knocking and doing all that lead generation. You will be the one doing it until the moment you literally leave the business.
Gotcha.
That's always going to be on you. You cannot hire other people to make phone calls on your behalf unless they're licensed. And there are many problems with that as well. So now you
Gotcha.
can buy
Okay.
leads. If you buy leads, then you need to be calling the leads, not hire someone else to call the leads.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
All right. Good question. Yes. More questions. Everybody else, wake up. It's open microphone. This is your time. Go ahead. Ask the question. Let me see if I can answer it.
Ron, this is Lisette. Morning.
Morning.
I am in the process of hiring an assistant, and, and I completely forgot about the profile. This profile, do you have a link, or is there any recommended link for this profile test?
There are many disc profile out there that you can use.
Okay, so just
Some of
get
them are free,
one.
some of them cost money. I mean, if you just Google it, you find it. But Tony Robbins is offering one. I just don't like it much because it doesn't give you the graph that is needed. These are all good questions, but it's SC profile that you're looking for. You're looking for someone who is amiable, and you're looking for someone who is detailed-oriented, perfectionist, conscientiousness style.
So SC.
SC or CS.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
It has to be way above the midline. And the D needs to be low D.
Yeah. I'm the D here.
Yeah, but sometimes you hire someone who has a CS, D profile. You don't want it. You want someone who is a SC or CS, or it's not good enough to be just a C or just a S. On the profile, you need S and C for an administrative assistant. And you definitely don't want them to be high I, because then they're going to talk your ears off as well as all your customers, and it's just not the right person for the job. It's good to hire a buyer agent with an I, but you don't need a D. There's no one really in the business that I mentioned in this structure except the listing agent at the end that will need to be a driver. Everyone else don't need to be a driver. You understand? So, but before you do all that stuff, coaching. More questions.
Thank you.
Roy, any questions? Because I know you're doing some real estate stuff, but it's not really, realtor related. You're doing more of the investor. You have any questions in relation to these topics we spoke about today? What's the next step?
No, it's all great information, really helpful. I'm just with my newborn baby in my hand, so
Okay, good.
can't really speak, but thank you.
It's great. All right. Yesterday I had a conversation with someone, has a few kids, and he's helping also the wife, to do the things that she needs, helping with the children in the morning, etc., etc. We started getting into the detail. I'm not going to give you too many details, but eventually on the call, it came out that it's more because this person is making about, we did roughly the math of how much they make per hour, and it came out to be about $200 an hour. So I asked him, when you're spending 2 hours in the morning, especially in the morning, because the morning is the most important time for that person in his business, you take the 2 hours in the morning, which cost you $400 in your time, and then when you do the work, when you do whatever needs to be done to help the wife, etc., for 2 hours, you're spending $400. Instead, find someone else that you trust, that your wife trusts, that you both trust, to replace you, to do what you need to do to help the wife, okay? Someone you trust. They need to fit the profile, this profile. They need to be the right person. They need to be someone you trust, etc., etc. You need to hire them and coach them. And you're going to save yourself, what is that? Even if you pay them $25 an hour, that's $50 instead of $400. You just save $350 a day. How much is that a month? So he just calculated we just did pure math. And that's what it means, delegating to someone else that you trust. I said over and over again, you train, they fit the profile, and you trust these people. Okay? Don't just hire people and say, hey, Ron, you told me to hire and it didn't work. I didn't tell you to hire. I told you to hire someone to fit this profile. And then I told you, take the time to train them. And you must trust this person based on their resume, based on the references. You're going to call and check up on the references. You want to get to know the person. Do 3, 4, 5 interviews with each person before you choose them, if you need to. And then start investing your time into, but also remember something else. When you go through this process, I need you to remember something else. If you really want to build a business to achieve financial freedom, then you need to understand that you have to make a long-term commitment. You can't hire someone for 3 months. Oh my God, I'm going to pay for this person, and then go into chaos and fire them. And then 3 months after, you need to hire someone else. And then after 6 months, you fire them. And then after a year, you hire someone else. And you keep going on and on, because then your graph looks like this. You don't go from point A to point B. You go from point A to point A, point 1, and you go back down to A. Then you go to 8.1 and you go down to minus 8.1, etc. And that's what I'm saying. You need a coach. You need someone else who can help you in the process. And it's a process. And it's a long-term investment. It's not an overnight. It's not an instant gratification. There is no instant gratification in building a business. Zero instant gratification. All right, guys. Good call. I'll see you guys next week, 9 a.m. Eastern time, right here.